So in this video, I am still feeling over the moon right now because I have a new piece of furniture in my home studio, and so I'm going to be talking a little bit about that, and I'm also going to give you a behind-the-scenes tour of the gear that I currently have on this new piece of furniture. So let's get into it. Hi, I'm Velanche. I am a DJ and founder of a DJ collective called Soul Dust Productions. I'm also an aspiring music producer and creative in general. And if you like music related stuff here having to do with DJing or music production or music tech, subscribe to the channel. There is more coming your way. And speaking of things coming your way, something came my way the other day. For years, I always wanted to have a proper studio desk. But now, I actually have a customized studio desk that was built for me. The one that I ordered about a few months ago from a couple of guys, Ryan and Chad. It was mostly Ryan that I got in because I knew Ryan here in this area quite a while back, and so he and one of his partners, Chad, had decided to take on the project of building me a custom studio desk, and it is great. It is such a wonderful, wonderful addition to the home studio setup that I have. This is the first in terms of this piece of furniture, because I've asked him to be able to make it so that not only can it it's a good size and sturdy and can be put together, but also I need to have a way to disassemble it so that I can be able to reuse it wherever I go, and they met the challenge. So it's just awesome. It's just great. To give you some context of this studio before we get to the desk, on either side of me is a pair of tactical S8 studio monitors. But the studio monitors I got first back in 2007, 2008. About a year or two later, I bought the subwoofer known as the SW10. They work for me. They work for the most part. I didn't felt the need to be able to go out and get anything else, mainly because I hadn't really used them as studio monitors all that much during the time that I had them. But now I'm using them a lot more. So they've held up. They sound really good for my ears as reference monitors. So that is what I'm using for the speakers. Attached to the studio monitors, I'm going to go in the middle shelf from left to right. From the left side, I have the pluggable 10-port USB hub. I kept that as I'd used that for my 2013 MacBook Pro that I had for years and was my previous computer before the one that I'm going to be talking about in a little bit. In the middle is one of my new studio acquisitions, that being the Universal Audio Apollo Twin X audio interface. And I've only used it so far as an audio interface. I haven't used any of the high-end plugins that both comes with the Universal Audio interface and any of them that you otherwise would have to purchase. Those plugins emulate high-end equipment that you will go into a real-world studio to use. And so that's one of the reasons why the interface is so expensive. There's also a bit of processing that it has in it that makes those plugins go. Yeah, I've been wanting to be able to get a universal audio interface for years, and now I have it. I bought it back in February, and like I said, hopefully I will get deeper into that, but right now it serves its purpose as an all-around audio interface. On the right are actually two items, one on top of the other. The one I got at the top is the M1 Mac Mini from Apple. M1 is the newest chip that Apple has put out for its computers under the auspices of Apple Silicon. And Apple Silicon is the chip that is replacing the Intel chip that they've been supporting for years. They've been busy crafting their own chip to be able to use in their computer. But essentially, the same type of chip they've been using in the iPhone and the iPad, they've been developing the technology for the chip over time, and the iterations from the phone and the iPad ended up making it a core component or components within what's something that's known as a system on a chip, which is what Apple Silicon is. And so the M1, the new chips that Apple has put out, the first machines just came out in November. I ended up getting my M1 Mac Mini in February. It took about 3 weeks before it arrived after I ordered it, and I love it. I know I haven't pushed the bounds on it yet, but there's so much more to be able to push, but Logic works, and most plugins within Logic work, so that's good enough for me, and I've just been having a great time. It's just been phenomenal, like a game changer for me. I'll talk more about the computer another time. Underneath that M1 Mac Mini is a hub. It is another hub. Yes, this is a USB-C hub from Satechi. With the Satechi hub, there is a USB-C connector that plugs into the back of the Mac Mini. And that gives me extra ports on the front, and it's opposed to having to go into the back. So it has on the front USB-A and USB-C connectors. It also has a card reader, SD card reader, and also a micro SD card reader, and also a headphone jack. Now, there are hubs out there that includes an SSD enclosure where you can be able to go out and buy a separate SSD drive to be able to put into the enclosure, and that would be your extra drive on top of that. But I'm fine for what I got right now. Another thing that I have, I do have an external drive, and that is the Samsung T5 SSD drive that I got, and that's worked for me okay. I use that for some external sound libraries, among other things. In front of all of those things that I just mentioned is my keyboard, the main keyboard I got, which is the Native Instruments Complete Control S49 Mark II keyboard. Like I said, that is my main keyboard of choice, and I absolutely love it. And then in front of the keyboard, I have the Magic Trackpad 2, as well as the Magic Keyboard from Apple. Now, don't confuse that name with the Magic Keyboard that is actually an Apple accessory, and I happen to have it over here. But that was what Apple had decided to name the extended keyboard, the extended wireless Bluetooth keyboard, way before this other name comes. So confusing nomenclature, but that's how they did it. On the shelf, on my left, your right, is a turntable, and that is the Audio-Technica LP120 USB turntable. I originally got it because I thought I was going to be using it to sample stuff, and I might still do that, but I have more than enough material that I really don't find it necessary to have to go sampling things at this store. Even though I got records over here, and I'm fine without it. So right now I have it hooked up just to be able to listen to records. And to be honest with you, it's okay the way it come out. The preamp is not the greatest, and at some point I know I'm going to upgrade that turntable, but for right now I can be able to listen to records that I got, especially pile of records I have down here that I have yet to listen to, so that comes in handy. Next to the turntable I have my preferred studio headphone. That is the Beyerdynamic DT770 studio headphones. This is the 80 ohm version. I have been using the 32 ohm version for quite some time, a few years actually, but I also had a pair of AKG K240 headphones that I had used before, and then after a few years it broke, and so I was looking to get another pair of headphones for the studio, and I thought that since I was happy with the Beyerdynamic one, I decided to get the 80 ohm version. There's also a 250 ohm version, but my hearing is not all that great, so that's the reason why I ended up getting the 80 ohm. And I have a little caddy holding the headphone that I got off Amazon, and yeah, I like that. And in the middle I have a monitor. The monitor is an LG 34-inch that I bought about 3 years ago. And then on the opposite end I have several items, including the pluggable power strip. And that keeps several additional items for me to be able to charge my phone, my Apple Watch, my iPad Pro, and a few other things. Alright, so then I have a drawer of additional things. So if you pull out the drawer, I have 3 controllers underneath there. The first one on my left is the Launchpad Pro Mark III, and I got that specifically for Logic. And in the middle is the Maschine Jam from Native Instruments. That is a performance controller that the company came out with back in 2016. And finally on the right I have the Maschine Micro Mark III. And that's it, my new studio desk and the things on the desk. If you have any questions, you can leave it in the comments below and I will do my best to answer. I will list as many products as I can do in the video description down below. But if you have a question about any product that I somehow miss and don't get down below, just let me know once again in the comments. If you like what we've seen, click on the like button below. If you want to be able to keep up with music tech, music production, DJing, and just follow my musical journey, feel free to subscribe to the channel as well. And to the guys at Appendage and Bo in Visalia, California, thanks again to Ryan and Chad for putting together the desk. If you want to be able to have a custom studio desk of your own or something that looks like what I got back here, you are welcome to give them a shout, and I will leave that information also in the description. So once again, thanks very much, and I hope that this finds you well, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay, thanks for watching, and take care. Peace.